The idea for my fifth novel, the Mummyfesto, came rather strangely while watching the 2010 general election leadership debate. I was struck by how it was the same men in suits talking about pretty much the same type of politics. And I talked to my husband that night about how great it would be if some women came along and set up a completely different alternative political party and campaigned in a general election on something totally different from whatever had been heard about before. I came up with the idea of three women, essentially mums at the school gate here, whose children and families are all touched by the problems that politics sometimes cause people. And I wanted them to set up their own political party, which they did, called the Lollipop Party, and come up with a fantastic Mummyfesto, as it became known, with some really radical alternative ideas about how to make the world, well, this country, a lot better place for women and children. And I couldn't think of a better place for those three women to live than here in Hebden Bridge in the Calder Valley, because it's such an alternative place and a place where so many great alternative ideas start. It was huge fun setting up the Lollipop Party, and I confess that I would love to have been part of it, and still to this day get comments on my social media sites from women who have read the book and saying, do you know what, can we still set up that party? It was here at this street in Hebden Bridge where Sam lived at number 10 and where all of their meetings took place, and where they came up with 100+ policies in the Mummyfesto, which were set to radicalise politics in this country. It was a real range of policies, some serious, some not so serious. And perhaps my favourite one was the policy that skipping should be compulsory, and that if they ever got into Parliament, they would skip down Downing Street. And what they did then is set off on an impromptu skip around Hebden Bridge. 10 years on, it's just got to be done.